Today guys, I'm really excited to share with you a case study of one of our dear clients that scaled to 550,000 in revenue generated over the last 30 days. And we took this client on when he came to us through Twitter. They were doing around 130-ish K at a 2.5 ROAS. And what we have right here is 550,000 revenue generated, 511 of that is new customer revenue with over 12,000 orders, ad spends of 13,000, 14,000 a day at a ROAS that is better when we took them over at like 1/4 of the scale. And today I really like to break this down to show you what you really need to do to bring down the CPA, how you take over an account, how you optimize an account, how you establish the creative strategy and the UGC system that is reliable to make such scale possible, and then also really break down the media buying of what you need to do to scale to levels of like 13,000, 14,000 a day. So 2024 can really be the biggest year of your brand, and I would like you to win big. So stay tuned. I will break down everything in detail, what you need to know. And just a few things where I really love this case study. First of all, at lower scale, we were much less profitable than what we have right now. Second of all, this is their first year of business. And third, this is like a super low AOV product. It's like $32. Making something like this work at this scale on Facebook in 2023, it's quite tricky. With rising advertising costs and everything, it is tricky, but it's still possible, and I will show you how. I would like to share with you what it looked like before we came on and took over the account, so you can really see the transformation of what good media buying and amazing creatives can do for a brand. So we started working together in mid-June, so let's just take a look at, for example, May, the month before that. And if I remember correctly, they did around 50-ish K, yes, at 2.6, so that's already a worse profitability that we have right here. Then the next month when we took over, let's just take a look at the 30 days before we took over. 129K in revenue at a 2.5 ROAS, which isn't really that great for the brand. And then we can take a look at the following months, so let's just look at July, for example, when we fully took over. They ran out of stock, that's why we kept the spend a bit low, but you can see in the ROAS that we were already much more profitable and were in a better position than what before. At the end of July we ran out of stock, and you really felt it in, for example, August. We see here that we have 1/3 of the month no stock, yet we had a new record month with 170K at a ROAS of 3.14, so much more profitable, much more revenue, and a great scale to scale higher. And then if we take a look at September was already really exciting for the brand, where we took it to over 300,000 in revenue at a 2.73, still much more profitable than what they had in May and in June. And then of course, let's just take a look and fast forward a bit to the last 30 days. We had 550,000 revenue generated over 30 days, with 511 of that being new customer revenue. This is not big Black Friday madness or anything with retention revenue coming in. This is sole pure acquisition at a very high level, and I will show you how you can do the same. So first of all, we're going to talk about account takeover, then what you do when you want to establish a winning creative and UGC system. Then following that, we have the testing and scaling account structure, the exact account structure that we used. Then we move to advanced scaling techniques. I'm going to show you exactly how I scale campaigns and how I was able to scale this to like 13K, 14K a day in ad spend. And then we also have the correlation of like understanding your business and how it plays together with your ads, so you actually scale sustainably and not just scale up and waste a lot of money. I'm really excited, and I would say we hop right in. So let's just talk about the account takeover right here. When you come into the account, there's always the thing of like analyzing it. We always do a big audit with like 75 data points to test it really of basically everything that you can test and think, and how you basically view the account to get a really good and neutral opinion about it and where it stands, like a complete status quo analysis. What you're gonna do is that you turn off the losers and then scale the winners. This is like the fundamental principle with the ad account where it is, because you probably don't think that way, but actually there are two things that cost you money. First of all, it's the ads that burn money, and second of all, it's the ads that are not scaled in terms of opportunity cost, and these are real, and I will get to that a bit later. But this is pretty important. And then of course, depending on the audit, we have like things that are not turned on, like automated advanced matching, tracking everything, testing account structures, different campaigns and everything. We have it right here. We leverage all of their post IDs. As you see, one of the ads has now over 50,000 likes just because we used the post ID and collected all of the likes and comments and really aggregated them on this post ID that we scaled months. So this is really amazing, and it's actually super helpful. You want to have this post ID because it actually helps you bring down traffic costs. Facebook will see, okay, this is an amazing user experience, I will reward this advertiser with cheaper advertising costs, and especially at a low AOV product, this is crucial. So definitely always use post IDs. There's no reason why you shouldn't scale your winning ads as post IDs. Then secondly, we have here try different campaigns and audiences. Very important to find out which one of those are actually the best scaling campaigns, the best testing campaigns, and everything like that. And also we decide for the best ads, which means basically that we go in, descript the ad, take a look at it, really go from A to C, from C to A, and try to understand why it works and how we can replicate this. And then we already move to the second stage, which is establishing a winning creative and UGC system. This is really the lifeblood of your brand and how you scale. You need to have scalable creatives. It's not about that you test like 50 creatives a week or like anything like that, crazy numbers, and you have a very poor hit rate. They don't work at all. It's more so important that you bring in great fundamentals of marketing, that you tap into great copywriting and actually concept ads that are either on proven structures that you have tried before, or that try to find something new and you actually find those winning creatives that can scale for months. You don't want to just take any TikTok trend and get some boost in the account. That's fine too, but what you're really after is like long-lasting creatives that are just true best performing ads. And you really do this by creating like hypotheses, script out, get some thoughts about why this ad should work, who you're selling to, what they are talking about, what are the emotional side of things, the functional side of things, and everything like that. It's a very broad topic, and we are very deep into creative strategy to make such things work. But I would definitely recommend that you read books like Breakthrough Advertising, Cash Advertising, look at all print ads, take a look at other successful ad libraries and advertisers and anything like that, and really try to understand the creative strategy behind it. So what we then do is obviously write some new UGC scripts like here, but you also did, for example, and usually they have like 3 hooks and so you get like the most out of your content. So always do like 3 hooks in the beginning so you get more for your more for your buck, and this is pretty important. On the other hand, we also have our internal creative arbitrage analysis dashboard where we actually see more KPIs than in the ads manager, and it allows us to really evaluate how valuable the traffic is, where we can put more budget on, where we can really scale, and how we can iterate these ads, find new ones that are actually also proven winners. So if you don't have that, just try to analyze them based on the Facebook metrics. Like for example, obviously the most important ones are your value metrics like the CPA, the ROAS, all of that. Then soft metrics we have for videos like thumbs up, hold rate, avatar trigger, everything like that. And then also of course CPM, CPC, CTR, the usual stuff, and make sure these are aligned with your scaling goals so you can actually find and identify these ads before you scale them up. Right. Then we obviously iterate and create new ads weekly. That means we iterate the best ads as well as creating new ones on a weekly basis to actually fuel the account with great creatives and make it sure that it scales up smoothly. Also, one note I gave to the brand is that they should build a UGC talent pool. We have a network of creators and they also had amazing creators they worked with. So what we told them was, hey, take your favorite creators and build like a small pool around you where you give out a lot of scripts, they have your product, and they have a super fast turnaround. And this is pretty amazing because if you have creators that have your product and you just send them your script, you will probably have your content back in like 48, 72 hours or something like that. And this speed really helps you scale quick. So this is amazing as well. Now, what about testing and scaling? So we talked about creative strategy, what we did there, and how we need to do it. Maybe one other note on creative strategy, because I promised to share a bit more about what we did for this client. It is actually a mixture of like pet focused and then also human focused scripts. So we have of course the perspective of the human and also the perspective of the dog. For the dog we for example used that funny TikTok voice that was just funny and everybody loved it, and that's why our ads got like thousands of likes, because it was quite funny. For example, we had one ad where the dog was talking about not getting chunky and he can still eat treats all day because they're homemade and they're really good for him. So that was pretty funny. And on the other hand, we had really long lasting scripts and best performers that were from the perspective of the owner, and there we just showed like things why they don't do it, like it's such an amazing hack for dog owners that they need to do it and stuff like that. And with every script we try to either entertain, educate, or really inspire, And this was the essence of every script we had right here, and it tended to work really well. So if you keep this in mind and you combine it with amazing creative strategy, with marketing fundamentals, you're really set up for success, because most people just type in some copy, they have no idea what they're doing, and then you're really coming along, cutting through the noise. You're being better in the ad auction because you're more relevant to the users, because you're selling to them better, you know them better, and this will help you scale so much more easily and higher. And yeah, I hope you take this away from this. Then what about the testing and scaling account structure? I often get asked, like, how do I test ads? And it's pretty simple. I always do like ABO testing. If we take a look at this right here, you will see this is one campaign and we have like 160, 180, I think 180 ad sets in there. And these are all like different angles. And one angle basically means one concept or theme. For a dog, it could be the dog not getting fed. This is one angle, and we create like 2-3 ads around that angle. Then we tackle a new one. For example, why is nobody doing that at home? So we take this curiosity angle and introduce the product, and it's a completely new angle from a human perspective. And we did like all of these tests to really find out which of these angles and which of these ads are most relevant, are getting the best KPIs. Where can we go down? What can we do to make the ads as compelling as we can? We always give like 3 to 4 ads in one ad set, so we give the algorithm more ideas to pick the really best one. And this allows us to quickly test and scale the account, because if we test like 5 different angles, 10 different angles, we have quickly found something, and it usually works really well. We can then take, after like 4 to 7 days after we're testing them, take the best ads, use them as a post ID, and then scale them up in a separate scaling campaign. Right, and then for the scaling part, we use a bit of a different setup. I tried everything in this account, especially when it was running at peak. I had different campaigns. I had the ABO testing campaign, where I'm myself now on it. And then, for example, I also scaled the successful tests, these ABO ad sets, I scaled them, for example. And then we also had ASCs, so Advantage Plus shopping campaigns, that did really well with the post IDs. And in addition to that, we also have a CBO structure that was doing really, really well. So we had like a mixture of everything. We basically split up also by country that we were advertising in. And that was just helping to diversify the spend a bit, really push these things hard that worked really well. For example, if I see US ASC working really well, I was scaling the budget like crazy. But for example, I see then Canada being a bit slower or Australia being a bit slower, I pulled back the budget and just made sure to actually spend on the most valuable things, reducing the opportunity cost as much as possible, scaling as high as I could. And this was making the account a lot of money. And then what we have right here is, again, the notion of like avoid losing money. If you test a lot, you also need to be killing a lot, because only a small percentage of everything you test will be successful. So you definitely need to kill the ads that are not doing well. There's no reason to keep an ad running that is not producing results. Even if it looks cool in your ad library, even if you're told by like everybody that you should do it. If you're not running a cost cap setup or anything tricky like that, I would just, and that is also just, it sounds cool, but in most cases it doesn't work. So don't get like sucked into this cost cap thing. You need to be a very good advertiser and need to have a very solid business to make it work. And if it's then even working better for you with these cost caps, that's like another question. We don't do that. We found great success doing it that way. And the notion you need to have from this is that basically you need to be killing your losers so you don't waste money on those. And on the other hand, which is even more important, is that you scale your winners. If you don't scale your winners, and I've been in so many accounts, they have great ads, they were in KPIs, but they didn't scale them because they felt like unsure, or they had a weak day some days through the week, and they just couldn't feel like they couldn't scale it. But then someone else comes in with a new set of eyes, and he takes these winners, uses their post IDs, really like grows them and nurtures them in the right campaigns to scale them up. And this was also a case right here where we could take like old best performing ads and scale them really high, even if they have been running for some time. And this is important because if you're working with a partner like us, it's not really the cost that you pay to us that is like costing you anything. It's more so the opportunity cost you have. We could like insanely scale this business, but it could also be running at like 100K, 150K with the wrong partner. And then you have opportunity cost of like 200-300K each month that you're not really realizing because of that. That's why it's so important to have the balls, first of all, to scale, and also like the understanding and the expertise to scale our account sustainably and make sure it does its thing. as you see right here, sustainable scale is really important. By the way, just as a shameless plug, if you're looking to upgrade your brand to the next level and go to the next level in 2024, and you want to have the symbiosis of like great creative strategy, amazing creatives done for you, and then also media buying that understands your account and is able to scale your account. We've been working with brands that are spending like between 1k to 50k a day and help them sustainably scale, bring down the CPA, and just make sure they are growing month after month. And we do that. We are a special growth boutique partner. So if you're interested in that, I'm happy to do an audit for you. I'm doing this for 2 brands right now before we're moving really into 2024. If you're interested in that, please apply for a free audit, and I will make sure to have you and do the audit myself, so make sure that you handle it, and also you get the audit afterwards. So no strings attached, and you get all of the insights and my input as well. All right, let's move to advanced scaling techniques. What we have right here is that I use 3 main scaling strategies. And first of all is one that basically everybody does, and it's also the most crucial one. It's the vertical scaling. What this means is that you just increase the budget on things that are working. For example, you have campaigns, you have ad sets, you have everything that works well, and you just increase the budget. If you have time and you want to sustainably scale, I would recommend you that you increase the budget by like 20% every 1 to 3 days, because this is very sustainable, it's solid, it's working really well. And it doesn't have like these effects that you increase something and then suddenly it stops working. That usually doesn't happen if you have strong ads and really proven winners. Then on another note, we also do intraday scaling. For example, if you take a look at this, we took this from like 600 a day to 1,000 a day in the same day, then from 1,000 to 1,700, then from 1,700 to like 3.5k. This was all done throughout the same day to actually push the budget as much as we could. And this is also really important, especially during sales seasons, during like really important days of the business, that you scale intraday to actually make the most out of it. You analyze the results based on real-time data, and then when you see really movement going on and you see momentum going, then you scale the budget and you push hard. And this makes a lot of sense in these cases, because you're, again, scaling as high as you can. Next thing, horizontal scaling. We do this often, and this is also something like taking your best performing ads and testing them on different audiences. It can be interest audiences, it can be lookalike audience. We had here, for example, most of the account was running abroad. Then I introduced some lookalike audiences, like 10% lookalikes, and they did really well. So this is also something you need to take into account, because they can work extremely well. Also, like different scaling structures, I would recommend testing different scaling structures and different scaling campaigns, so you make sure you find the ideal setup for your own account. There's no one campaign that works in every account. It's really unique to your own account and how you best make it work. So just test it and stick with what's working until it doesn't work anymore, basically. Right, and always keep testing on the side, obviously. And then you're in for a treat right here, because I'm going to explain our BitCap strategy as well. So BitCaps are really powerful. Like, this is the cream of the crop of media buying, I would say. And what you have right here is that you set up an accelerated BitCap campaign. This means you set up a campaign and you set the delivery to accelerated instead of standard. So usually your budget spends throughout the day when it wants to, and what it does, like over this duration of 24 hours, it just allocates the budget in the best possible way. If you use accelerated, you just blast out your budget as fast as you can. And this only makes sense if you have a BitCap. So you're regulating how much you're paying for a purchase, so your cost per purchase is regulated, and then you also allow the system to spend as quickly as possible, as fast as it can, to actually get you the best return on ad spend. For example, as an example, when you do something like that and you set it up and you get it right, and you wake up Saturday in the morning, it's like 10 a.m. and like 5k of budget is just gone. It's spent, it's done, and you had amazing cost per purchase. This is really what these BitCaps can do. And as you also saw, and as you also see right here, we did it quite well for this client in a short period of time. I just got this. It had a much higher ROAS, like 10 to 30%. Usually the ROAS is higher, so you're more profitable, and you also had some good revenue coming in. But obviously you need to tweak the BitCap, find the right balance of it so it spends properly. And this is quite hard, and it's also risky, so I wouldn't recommend this to a beginner. Right. Then we come to the last point already, and this is so important. You shouldn't be scaling without understanding this. Facebook ads and your business directly correlate if Facebook ads is really like your main channel of acquisition. So what you do on Facebook ads affects what you're doing in your shop. And as you scale up your budget, you will find these spillover effects. For example, you will see you're basically unprofitable on Facebook. Like it looks like, let's say you need a ROAS of 2 and you have a 1.8 ROAS in Facebook or 1.7. But in your business, you see that you actually have a ROAS of 2.5 over all things. And if really like Facebook is 90% of your traffic, then it's completely fine to take a look at your business, what it does when you spend more, and also what your ads do when you spend more on those. So to find this like connection between the ads and then actually also the business is really, really important. Just to give you an example, I like to do this with CPAs and everything, but because I don't want to share the CPA right here because I'm still running the brand. And that's also the reason why I didn't share like all of the ads we had and the winners and everything, just to make sure they're also set up for success and can build on the machines and systems we build for them for the next few months. Right, so what you have right here is, for example, the correlation between our Facebook ROAS as well as shop ROAS. And if I see a Facebook ROAS of like 2.3, 2.4, then I know that the shop is probably also doing like a 3.0 or something like that. And then you can probably see that you can also manage the ads in the ad account. You get a better understanding of how they do and what needs to be done in the ad account and when you scale something and when you can't. So you can actually do that. And this is especially for people who don't have any tracking softwares or anything like that. You can still do this with Shopify. And otherwise, I would definitely recommend that you take a look at like tracking softwares like Triple Whale, Northbeam, Hyros, or anything like that, which can really help you identify these ads quicker and also reduce the ads and kill the ads that are not working. So no wasted money. And this is basically it. So if you understand that and you see the impact of your ads and you see the spillover effects, as you spend like 10K a day, or like if you spend like 5K a day, you will see, or like even if you spend 1K a day, if you do that for a longer time period, you will see that your actual ROAS is usually much higher than what you see in Facebook. It has to do with the tracking issues, it has to do with the spillover effect that as you just spend more, you generate more customer journeys and more people purchase and everything and word of mouth, everything like that. But it's just important to understand how an account scales and that you scale it really, really sustainably. This account right here, they're like 15.6K at this specific day. We had a great ROAS, we had a great Facebook ROAS, we see the ad spend, we see the new custom orders, and you just need to make sure that you have these metrics dialed in, that you're really focusing with your Facebook ads on acquisition, and it just make sure that you acquire new customers profitably, because this is the name of the game. Facebook is not designed to get you like a ROAS of 10, 15 or anything like that. You should be running Facebook ads that you can acquire the most new customers at the biggest profit you can, and outscale your competitors and outdo everyone else in the market so you can really dominate the market. And this is what it's all for, this platform, and we need to leverage for that. So I hope this whole presentation was insightful. Again, another shameless plug. If you want to take your brand to the next level in 2024, we can do a full-blown audit for you. It's free. I will do it personally. I'm doing this for 2 brands because we have some spot left now that we're helping them transition to in-house. And I would just like to invite you to apply to this, and I will give you exactly what I would do in your account, so you get the entire potential analysis, tell you like what I would cut, what I would keep, what options you need to turn on, what features and everything to make it more efficient, but then also give you some ideas on creative strategy so that you can do with your own team or anyone else or with us, so you can scale your account higher. And this is again no strings attached and anything, and yeah, I would love to talk to you. If it's interesting, I will let you know immediately if you text me on Twitter or anywhere. And yeah, again, I hope it was insightful. I wish you all the best for 2024. I hope you win big, and thanks so much for watching. I hope you could get some value out of it.